Oh, Jill. But kinda I want to. Bang. Simmer down, boys. But kinda I want to. But kind of I want to. Shepeties? Shepeteasy? Huh? 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 All right, Jill. Jill's over in Ukraine. I mean, we got breaking news, guys. Jill, get in the plane. Shut up, Brenda. Oh. Jill. 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 But kind of I want to. Surprise! Jill is in Ukraine. Oh God, what is Jill doing in Ukraine? Surprise, Jill is in Ukraine. Alright, fucking click on it. What is going on here, dude? Surprise, Jill's in Ukraine. Click on it. Oh. A fucking earache or something. Joe Biden. I have a fucking earache. Joe Biden pays a surprise visit to Ukraine and meets First Lady. Jill. She has flowers. She has flowers. Use Horde Ukraine. Use Horde Ukraine. Joe Biden made an unannounced visit to Western Ukraine Sunday, holding a surprise Mother's Day meeting. Oh, today? So Jill's in fucking Ukraine right now. This wasn't a yesterday story, it's a today story. She's making last minute fucking... She's over there. What is she doing over there? I'm just going to go to Ukraine. What are you doing? Holding a surprise Mother's Day meeting with First Lady Olena Zelenka. Zelenka? To show U.S. support for embattled nation as Russia presses its punishing war in the eastern regions. Biden traveled under the cloak of secrecy, becoming the latest high-profile American to enter Ukraine during a 10-week-old conflict with Russia. I wanted to come on Mother's Day, the First Lady told Zelenska. I thought it was important to show the Ukrainian people that this war has to stop with flowers. And this war has been brutal, and that the people of the United States stand with the people of Ukraine. They just told you stand with the people of Ukraine. That's it. Biden spent about 2 hours in Ukraine, and he got out of there once he transferred the money to fucking... Traveling by vehicle to town of the Uzhhorod, about 10-minute drive from the Slovakian border village, where she had toured a border processing facility. Zelenka thanked Biden for her courageous act and said, "We understand what it takes for the U.S. First Lady to come here during a war when military actions are taking place every day, where the air sirens are happening every day, even today." The first two ladies came together in a small classroom, sitting across, like the one that George Bush used for iPad Go, sitting across a table from one another and greeting each other in front of reporters before they met in private. Zelenka and her children have been at an undisclosed location for their safety. What the fuck is going on over here? The school where they met turned into transitional housing for the Ukrainian migrants from elsewhere in the country. The visit allowed Biden to conduct the kind of personal diplomacy that her husband would like to be doing himself. President Joe Biden, who took a call from his wife while she was in the motorcade after the visit to Uzhhorod, said during his visit to Poland in March that he was disappointed he cannot visit Ukraine to see the conditions firsthand, but that he was not allowed due to security reasons. The White House said as recently as last week that the president would love to visit, but there were no plans for him to visit anytime in the future. Okay, that's Joe Biden. The meeting came about after the two first ladies exchanged correspondence in recent weeks, and they were pen pals, and then they're meeting in Zolaz. We're not authorized to tell you anything. She arrived at the school. Jill Biden was wearing a Mother's Day corsage after she got out of the overhead compartment of the plane. Second stop, the island. And the Mother's Day corsage that she stuffed on the plane overhead on the way to the island was from her husband, embraced Zelenka and presented her with a bouquet of flowers that they got at the shop there in the Bahamas. After their private meeting, the two joined a group of children. See? They had a private meeting, and then they joined a group of children, and then they went to the fucking island. Biden's visit follows recent stops in the war-torn country by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other members of Congress, as well as a joint trip by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. So he's involved, and everybody's involved. Biden's visit is a Russian bomb-flattened school in eastern Ukraine. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau is doing things here because he's in the hemlock. He's part of it. Before, blah, 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 blah. Hearts of the American people. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Bus station. Da, 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 da. Blah, blah, blah. It's not really saying much. At one point, Kushkokia asked why, seeming an explanation for blah, 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 blah. Slovakian Ukrainian moms were brought together at the school for Mother's Day event while their children made crafts, and then they gave them the crafts as gifts. And then they went to the island. And then they went to the island. Well, good. I'm glad. So Jill's in Ukraine. Oh, geez. Justin, have you been drinking? Good day. Meow, 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 meow. Good day. Oh, they hid you, Justin. They said, shh. Justin said she must have got permission from the Russians to fly in there, and YouTube hid you. They're like, shut up, Justin. Haha, YouTube won't show my comment. Told ya. YouTube doesn't like you, bro. It's just the way it is. But kind of I want to. What else is going on in the Shukadanzi? Happy Mother's Day, Justin. Happy Mother's Day. This is still Jill. Let's get the hell out of Jill. But kind of I want to. What are you marmalading over there? What is that? Huh? What? What's all that bubbling? Really? A lot of bubbles. What's going on at Zero Hedge? Goldman Trader, the state of the market is on the bleed to lower lows interrupted on occasion by vicious short squeezes. Hence the put option right there at the top of the screen. Puts. Oh. Oh. Ah. Okay. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. You guys know meow, meow, meow? Let's run meow, meow, meow through the database. Alright, so we have Jill, and then we have her crying, and then we have America. Wait, hold on. Shit. Where's America? Yeah, that one. Now, let's get rid of America. Alright, and then Sassy Bonita, her down here. And then Sassel Frass, her right there. What the hell is this? Get rid of that, whatever that is. Sassel Frass, her down here. And then Sassel it like that, like say Sol de Mil. Kind of get up in here, like right there, and then we could put America right here. Say Sol de Mil. There's a lot of things to go through. I don't know which one it is. Stupid. Doesn't work. Justin's like, my mom is dead. Well, just chill out. Not every mom is dead. There it is. There it is. There. Liberty is looking at you, Justin. Really squirrely, too. Really squirrely. Let me get some things going on here. But kind of I want to. Yeah, let's go to Cecil DeMille. Let's put Cecilia D'Amelio over here. Okay. So we basically have Just Incredible in there. Justin, stop drinking. It's 10 in the morning. Stop drinking, Justin. So what else is going on this piece of shit? Jill supports neo-Nazis in Ukraine, but not the USA. So Jill's a Nazi? Is Jill a Nazi? Wait, hold on. She's crying. She's crying, and then let's get Jill. Let's look at Jill's face. Jill, let me see your face. Where the fuck is Jill? There. Jill? Oh shit, she looks like she's been in some mean ass shit. She has black eyes like a... Oh, like freaking you know who. People under the stairs. Look at Jill. Fucking where's Jill, dude? Get Jill. Here, Jill, back up. Ooh. She's from Delaware. Yeah, she's from Delaware. Look at this one. Look at this guy in the background. Just kind of chilling there. Look at him lurking. Hold on. Let's get this the hell out of the way. Okay. Look at, they got roses set up, and look at her. She's got a whole bunch of earrings all the way up her ear. And Jill kind of looks like, I don't know, Grandpa. Grandpa with earrings? I'm not sure. Got a bunch of roses here. Look at that chick. Oops, I'm messing with the audio here. Alright, so there's those two. And this guy lurking over there. Look at this guy lurking. Jill. Yeah, Jill. Alright, take Jill down a notch or two, eh? Jill? Can you go down, 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 Julie Brown, Brown, Brown? There. Puts on her nose. Sniffing the puts. Sniffing the puts. She's crying. We got you guys talking. This thing over here. Sniff the puts, Jilly. You sniff the puts. Americans dead in the Bahamas. That's correct. So the island, people are dying at the island and then they're getting thrown somewhere. People are still dying in the Bahamas. What the fuck is going on? That's what they said. They'd rather die than give us control. So we're going to have to take it from them. We're going to have to take it from Billy's germ team. Billy's germ team, we're going to have to take it from them. Billy, we're coming for you. Dark Universe is saying what? President even saying they would not get vaccinated.
I think it's going to be a very skeptical American public about taking the vaccine, and it should be.
We can't trust the president and take his word and take a vaccine that might cause harm to us.
If and when the vaccine comes, it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done.
Let's just say there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
When we finally do, God willing, get a vaccine, who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot?
We will need to have access to the vaccine results so we can make our independent assessment to make sure that Donald Trump's fingerprints are not on it.
You can be the first one to say, put me, sign me up. They now say it's okay. Is the vaccine safe? Frankly, I'm not going to trust the federal government's opinion. And I wouldn't recommend to New Yorkers based on the federal government's opinion. And the question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency.
Would you trust
What's
that
in this bad boy?
There's very little that we can trust that comes
Cheese
out
and
of
rice?
We cannot take for
What's all of
granted
it?
this process will be free of political influence.
I don't trust the president, and I don't trust the FDA.
If Donald Trump can't give answers and the administration can't give answers to these three questions, the American people should not have confidence.
Oh shit! So Bill is telling or Jill or Biden. He's saying he shouldn't take the vaccine or whatever. What else is going on in this telegram? Where was that? Herbal help or whatever. Hold on. See? See how they put it in your nose? The nanobots? They stick it in your nose like that with the shield on. The nanobots. What's this now? Return of Christ now at the precise time is the meaning of the new moon time confirmed by over Jerusalem.
Keep your heads up and your arms covered, family.
What's up, awesome, beautiful fam?
All glory to our Father. What we're about to show you is...
Hold on, they got 6 minutes of some heckadanza. Let's listen to them. Here, I'll put it like this.
Gigantinormous. But first, the verse of the day for Tuesday, May 3rd.
They said it together. How cute.
2022.
And it's Colossians 3:20.
Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. Hebrews 11:6.
But without faith it is impossible to please him.
What?
For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
So we're watching and waiting and seeking. And we're about to share with you what we're seeing. So on to the signs in the sun, the moon,
And the stars.
and we received this email yesterday from Deborah's date tree.
The new moon report.
And as you can see right here, from Jerusalem, the new moon was confirmed at 7:38 p.m. And when you go to Strong's Greek, 7:38, the definition is,
Newborn.
and the usage is,
Newly begotten. Newly born.
and the Hebrew definition is,
A lion.
like the lion of the tribe of Judah. But this is the gigantinormous part. From Jerusalem, the old city, it was confirmed at 7:37. And when you go to Strong's Hebrew 7:37, the definition is,
A meal. Allowance.
and that reminds us of the great wedding feast. Are you ready for dinner, family?
Wait a minute.
The marriage supper of the Lamb? Well, check this out.
This is beyond gigantinormous.
It's magnificent. Again, from the old city Jerusalem, the new moon was confirmed at 7:37, and the definition is,
Just now.
and the usage is,
Now. Just now. At this moment.
and if you watched our last video, at first I wrote now, and then I changed it and wrote right now.
Wait a minute.
Well,
What
if you
the hell
remember,
was that?
It's been a few years now. Christina woke up from a dream and said, oh,
Back on up. I don't know what that was. But I was lost from the very beginning. Apparently it's all gonna happen because of now, this, that, I don't know. May 3rd primaries. Oh, no. Please come and join me. Is this Frank?
Really? Well, not really, Hunter.
Frank.
These are
Let's see what he's talking about. 2 hours and 44 minutes. Hold on.
districts, so we do have to watch that separately. Anywho, so primaries. Who's excited, huh?
No. President Obongo on TikTok. A message to all the citizens in 192 countries of the world. Is this a fucking... It's a photo. So, what good is it? What is this? Some flat earth stuff. Sandy Lewis del Sol. What's this?
Hello, everybody. This is Paul from Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. This is April.
Sum it up.
April's in our house, folks, and I guess that's what's been making at least me sick and Adrian not feeling too.
Fuck that shit. Nanoviruses. What's all this? Oh, we have the Lego, my ego. Okay. This is better. Save this. Oh, this is Amber. With her poop in the bed. Amber and poop. Lego my ego. So this is Amber. This is the Legos for the Amber Johnny Depp. Poop in the bed, eh? Awesome, Hayes. Let me set that up. Let me save this. Share it. Oh, can I just put it into my editor? Shuckadanza. Can you put that in the put that in the chat box? Can you? So I could drag it into this. The 6 swab pushers. Zipper 19 something is here. All right, zip it up. Terrible lie. Happy Mother's Day.
I really don't know what you mean. It seems like salvation comes only in our dreams. I feel my hatred grow all the more extreme. Can this world really be as sad as it seems?
Don't take it away from me. Next. Hayes, what else you got? Thank you. Amber Heard taking a shit in the bed now. Hey, yo, guys, it's on there, right there. Amber is on there, and there's her poo-poo. Amber and her poo-poo and her poopy and her pooper. Amber is screaming with poop in the bed. Amber is screaming with poop in the bed. Amber is screaming with poop in the bed. Amber is screaming with poopski in the bed. Okay. That's awesome. Save. That's the best thing we got so far. Hayes, send us some more stuff like that. At least he sent like 5 of them. Amber Heard, Kim Jong-un, North Korea fire ballistic missile from submarine and will be ready to test a nuclear bomb this month. Fucking look at this. The Black Hats in North Korea are firing ballistic missiles from submarines, and they will be ready to test nuclear bombs this month. Give you something really to cry about. Ooh, what's this one? Hold on, I got some good ones here. Hold on. Go to my library. Go to this one. Hold on, go to this one. Go to this one.
In peace, in peace. Maybe.
Go to this one. Yes. I like this one. Yeah. I like this one. I like this one. Thumbs up. Oh, wait. Oh, what happened? Take it down a notch. Don't be sad. Ukraine grain strain. Almost 25 million tons blocked from export, ladies and gentlemen. A massive backlog of grain shipments is piling up in Ukraine to the tune of nearly 25 million tons due to an infrastructure challenge and blocked ports in the Black Sea, including Mariupol. Reporters at the Reuters Institute has said, citing United Nations Food Agency officials. Ladies and gentlemen, the grain strain in Ukraine. The grain strain in Ukraine. Thank you, Hayes. Hayes has got some other shit. Nancy Pelosi, Supreme Court, slapped women in the face with abortion draft ruling. Nancy Pelosi, Supreme Court, slapped women in the face with abortion draft rulings. Slapping women in the face. Slapping women in the face. It says, Happy Mother's Day, Nancy Pelosi. That's rude. That's uncouth. You know what I mean? You only need to send one, fucking Hayes. Okay, I got it. This is misconstruction.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left. Take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cancer food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Don't get married to a lady who also don't have a clue. And pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all.
Enjoy the abuse. I got Hayes spun. Hold on, Hayes. He's been sending me everything. All right, good. Monkeypox is back and ready to fucking infect you. It's from England, of course. Monkeypox looks like this. Watch out for it. Rare cases of the confirmed English disease. The people with accents are sending us monkey fucking pox. CDC investigating highly vaccinated Carnival cruise ship. Epoch Times. Carnival cruise. The fucking monkey viruses. Courts can't be bullied into delivering outcomes people demand. Clarence Thomas. Hey, it's supposed to be our fucking voice. Clarence Thomas says, no, it's our voice. Thanks, Clarence. Clarence came from really good parents. The USGA, I mean the G7, G whatever it is, just as long as it's G for the Masonic 9 to 5. Partners imposed new sanctions on Moscow ahead of Russia's Victory Day. Jill, get in the aircraft. We're going to the island. Amber Heard has poop. Lego set. It's very collectible. I'm getting it delivered. Here it is. Amber Heard and her poop. Amber Heard and her poop. Amber Heard and her poop Lego set. It's already worth $500,000. As is. You are such a dirty whore. U.S. officials hire Maoist anti-whiteness firm for nursery diversity training. Maoists. Surrender not an option, says Ukrainian fighters and Mary Powell. Okay. The monkeypox. The monkeypox. I think we should listen to Freaky Girls. Freaky Girls. Uh-huh. What's up with the Freaky Girls, huh? I like Freaky Girls, huh? What's up with the Freaky Girls out there, bird bath? Uh-huh. Hold on. Freaky Girls. No complaints. Sneaky. Oh, Amber Heard. Shit, you guys want to get some of this done? Woo! Back us up. Back it up. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Amber Heard is going on the stand. Yes.
Say if she told it.
She told you to do things. She told you.
I had to tell.
Oh my God, it's Amber Heard coming on.
Describe for the jury some of the cycles you had with Mr. Depp through 2012.
So, in 2012, the violence was pretty, you know, relative to what it became, pretty, you know, slapping, backhanding. Well, it went from this eggshell kind of, you're walking on eggshells, nothing you're doing is kind of right, but you don't know what you're doing wrong. And then I was doing something wrong clearly, but it was unclear within the scope of an argument what I was defending myself against. So it would shift from a rumor he had heard that I was with a friend, or I had been photographed standing too close to a male person. That was a
Powering on. Welcome.
Oh, the angels. The angels.
eggshell accusations, and then he would explode. It started with throwing things that I was lying to him about, and then a friend, or I had been photographed standing too close to a male person. That was a person I'd have
because you were a whore.
I had something with, and I was lying to him about, and then it would be
she was lying. You know she was lying. All the women are like, was doing nothing, I was doing nothing, and he was getting crazy because you were a dirty little whore.
Eggshells, accusations,
eggshell, whore.
And then he would explode. It started with throwing things, destroying the property, and screaming at me. I remember the screaming at me was the worst, because I kind of always felt like I had done
something
bad. I had to defend myself.
Yes.
I had to tell him so he didn't think these things were true. And sometimes.
Yes. What? Happy Mother's Day, Dad. What? You feel left out. I know you do. So I'm saying Happy Mother's Day. I know you. You feel left out.
I've been left out for a while.
Uh-huh. I knew it. I knew you had these feelings, Pop. So that's why I said Happy Mother's Day, Pop. Because I don't want to exclude you. I don't want to excommunicate you. I love you. Stop making noise, though. All right, Amber, on to your drama.
And, you know,
all the angels. That smells like grape. What's going on with this piece of shit?
Nothing I could do to calm him down. It seemed like
because he's getting crazy on the Oxycontins. Thank you, Oxycontin maker Purdue.
Walk away, and that would make it worse. I remember in my apartment in Orange, he would grab me by the hair, or he'd grab me by the arm.
Grabbed her by the hair, grabbed her by the arms. Getting crazy on that cocaine and Oxycontin.
Face, pull me into him, scream at me that way. It's
called passion. Just kidding.
Things around me, then he would smash things very close to me.
Very close.
And then he would just hit me. And
then he basically just beat me right in the face.
And it started with slapping. And it got to be like repetitive slaps where he'd hold.
Repetitive slaps, like tap, tap, tap.
Me in a position and slap me multiple times.
On the butt? I do that. On the butt? Did you mean on the butt?
In a row?
Yeah, like in a row, like.
Then it would be, you know, eventually I later would either push him off of me, or I'd try to.
So you guys were on top of one another. So he was slapping her butt.
Hid his hands away from me. I tried to, not in 2012 so much. At that time, I was mostly, my defense was, I'd go some other place. Like, I don't.
We're listening to Amber Heard. Tiffany, settle down. UFO Fact or Fiction is having fun. Justin's not counting on Larry. Hey, Justin, stop drinking.
I don't know how to describe that. I'd focus on something else.
She would focus somewhere else. She would go somewhere else in her mind. She would make an altar and go to a happier place.
I'd stand.
This is how she does it.
Up, look at him, try to stand up to him that way. Later, I adopted other kind of strategies to deal with it, but at the time in 2012, it was he'd have this blowout, and then he would leave, disappear, and I'd be committed to not talking to him. I'm done with this relationship. I can't take it anymore. I said that so many times. And then he'd come back, clean and sober, telling me either he had a chip. He didn't have any chips, but he would say, I've gone to meetings. I have a sober companion.
She gave a very, very weird look. I went to meetings, and then she looked at fucking whoever, yeah, right.
Clean and sober, telling me either he had a chip. He didn't have any chips, but he would say, I've gone to meetings.
Back it up.
And then he'd come back, clean and sober, telling me either he had a chip. He didn't have any chips, but he would say, I've gone to meetings. I have a sober companion now.
Robert Downey Jr., what do you think?
Telling me either he had a chip. Didn't have any chips, but he would say, I've gone to meetings.
Freeze frame. Freeze frame.
Powering on.
Fucking angels, come on.
All Tech Lansing. Powering on.
Come on, angels.
Welcome to All Tech Lansing. Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
Look, I'll just turn it off, you piece of shit. What do you think about that one, Angel Mist? Is that one a little too, unboomy? Is that one a little bit too unboomy for you? I'm talking about the boomies. I want to know about the boom booms. I want to know about the bomb boomers. Boomer bomb.
Telling me either he had a chip. He didn't have any chips, but he would say, I've gone to meetings. I have a sober companion now.
I have a sober companion.
I'm doing this program. I'm reading this. I'm doing this. And he was done with drugs and alcohol for good this time. And he'd come back in my life. And with the combination of him being sober and having gone through this horrible thing where I felt like my heart ripped out of my chest, like a relationship ending is hard, I think, for anyone, but ending under that circumstance is really painful. And so when he'd come back, it would almost feel like a solution to that. And it would feel great. And we would be good again. And he'd be extra nice and extra apologetic and extra loving. And and we'd be back in the good bubble, the warm glow. And eventually it'd get bored, and then I'd see him drinking again. When I started to get upset, noticing the pattern of the violence going with the drinking and drugs, then he started sneaking it. So it became less clear, and I'd have to look for clues as to what he was on. So I just knew how to react, Johnny on speed is very different from Johnny on opiates. Johnny on opiates very different from Adderall and cocaine Johnny, which is very different from Quaaludes Johnny. But I had to get good at paying attention to the different versions of him. 2012, I was in I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns. I was just learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence.
And did you confide in anyone about these issues you were having? I think she can say. I think she can say if she told anybody.
As long as she doesn't say what she said.
Right. So did you tell anyone?
Yes, I did.
Who did you tell?
I told my therapist. I eventually told my mom.
And let's go ahead and take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 150. 150.
Ow.
Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay. Yeah.
All right, Your Honor. Let's get some more Amber Heard in our life. Skip.
13.
Here we go, Amber.
Can you describe
You guys are going to love Amber Heard after this. We're going to have so much fun.
your relationship with Mr. Depp during that month? And we'll start there.
I remember that was after a period of some peace, and then he in sobriety. Johnny was sober, drinking Beck's, and my dad, who was struggling with alcohol and drug addiction at the time, had fallen off the wagon, and I remember he said, "Why don't we I want to send a picture to your dad of support," because my sister was upset with my dad, and so he poured a shot and kind of said, "Let's take a picture." I don't drink spirits, but I know that, I kind of held up in that picture. It's kind of eerie because I just think it's bizarre. He had broken this long period of sobriety that I thought was going to be the end of him drinking forever. Sounds foolish now, but I held up this kind of glass with him, and we sent the picture to my dad because, I didn't know what else to do. And I remember thinking it was weird that he was drinking. And then the month got really crazy from that point on. It was a bit of a revolving door of accusations. He was accusing me of having affairs with, frankly, just one person. I had an acquaintance with somebody, and he was accusing me of being with them, and then it was accusing me of being with my friend, the one I had seen in Spain. I'm in these kind of arguments, nothing I do is working. Walking out of the room is me leaving him, walking away from me. Hey, where are you going? I'm talking to you. It went from that to pulling me in by my arm, still shouting about the accusations. I'm trying to diffuse the situation by trying to tell him I'm not sleeping with this person and I'm not sleeping with that person. And it was kind of, as soon as it seemed as though I had convinced him of one, there was somebody else he was sure I was sleeping with. And it was a revolving door at the time. A painting I had hanging on the wall, done by my ex, who's an artist. That was, one day he was convinced that was proof I was sleeping with her, or having an affair with her. I didn't really love him, and all the while I'm madly in love with him and trying to convince him. So March started with this picture of him doing a shot, and he's kind of saying, "Let's send it to your dad to show support." And what I remember of March is just it's almost like it was a never-ending fight. It was just, there were breaks in it. What kept me in it is because I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, the sobriety shoe, if you will. I kept waiting for him to get to the point where it's not supportable or anymore, and he's done with it and he's ready to get clean and sober again, because there commences a period of like pure joy. And it was one fight after the other. March.
So let me start with the painting incident. Please tell the jury what happened on that particular incident with the painting.
As I mentioned, the painting, which had been hanging there for months, one day he kind of stayed up doing cocaine, just drinking, doing cocaine, music, which is not in and of itself that weird in my relationship with Johnny at this point. You know, like he stays up and keeps weird hours and smokes and stuff. But he was drinking brown liquor and doing a lot of cocaine, and it was like, it became clear to me in that argument, if you will, that he wasn't making sense. He had effectively just taken, it seemed like, a turn and had decided that the painting was an offense that he could not forgive me for. It meant I was having an affair with my ex-partner, with whom I had already split, and it made no sense to me. So I'm trying to kind of quell the accusations by saying, you know, it's been there, and what are you talking about? And it's like, that doesn't mean anything. And, you know, he was demanding I take it down. He eventually takes it down and tries to burn it, but it was unsuccessful, luckily, because he was not, he wasn't, with one of those normal, what do you call them, fake lighters, he wasn't very successful at doing it while drinking, to the extent he was. But I remember it was this kind of ridiculous fight. Like, didn't feel like it needed to be an argument, but it seemed like nothing I could do, nothing I could say. I tried leaving. I left the room. I left the house. I eventually came back. It was like a whole night, an evening, a night, and then a morning of this. So this morning in particular, I think it was the 22nd of March. There were several incidents in March, though. But in this particular one, he had something to go to. He was filming with Keith Richards and Tom Waits.
Well, let me, before you go into that part, let's pull up Defendant's Exhibit 161, which is already admitted into evidence, I believe, Your Honor.
Yes, 161 with redactions.
Thank you. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 161. And the date on this is 3/12/2013, and it's a text exchange between you and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Ooh, it's going to get good.
Okay. And the first one is from...
I'm holding him hostage. Who's in here? You guys talking shit? Where's the thumbs up? I need to see some action out of you guys. I need to see some action. Happy Mother's Day. Where's some thumbs up? Let me see some action. Okay, Justin, quit talking and put a thumbs up.
To Mr. Depp, just thought you should know there exists a book. Is that to you? Is it to Mr. Depp from you, or it's vice versa?
It's Johnny texting me.
Just thought you should know there exists a book titled Disco Bloodbath.
Disco Bloodbath. We're going to look into this one. Disco Bloodbath.
And then you say, we need that book. And you say, is this about last Friday night by any chance? And he says, how can you make me smile about such a hideous moment? And I'm not going to repeat the rest of it.
You better. Disco Bloodbath.
According to Wikipedia, Disco Bloodbath, a fabulous but true tale of murder in Clubland, is a 1999 memoir written by James St. James about his life as a Manhattan celebutant and club kid.
James St. James? What the fuck? Disco Bloodbath. James. A fabulous but true tale of murder in Clubland is a 1999 memoir written by James St. James about his life as a Manhattan celebutant and club kid.
Could you tell the jury what happened on that Friday night?
There were, like I said, there was a few different incidents in March. I believe this one happened in the Eastern Columbia building, which are one of Johnny's penthouses. They're in downtown, so a different part of Los Angeles. And we'd sometimes go there. I remember he was accusing me again of sleeping with this artist, this musician who I'd never slept with. I was denying it.
She slept with him, and she came hard. Happy Mother's Day.
Really knew the person. And then he was accusing me of sleeping with my friend in Spain. And
She didn't sleep with him. He's gay.
I remember nothing I could do. He called this person on the phone and screamed at him. He didn't speak English, so he was really confused as to what
He didn't speak English.
was being yelled at by Johnny. But I remember those were the accusations. That was the fight. But it was one to the next accusation. And I remember I was kind of doing that juggling act. I was in one of these fights, I believe it's this one, in his downtown ECB, we call it, loft. And we're in the kitchen living room area, and he backhands me. And
Backhands her.
It was, he wears a lot of rings.
Lot of rings. Tore her ass up. Just smacked to the face with all his rings and shit. All his fucking metal to her face. You know? All the rings and shit to the face. No. Back it up. What did I do?
Thank you. All right, maybe seated.
Damn you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 2?
He wears a lot of rings. I remember kind of just feeling like my lip went into my teeth. And it got a little blood on the wall. Just that simple, a little bit of blood on the wall. As hard as it is,
Johnny's kind of stirring in his seat here.
as hard as it is to explain this,
Hold on, let me see the stir.
as hard as it is to explain this, I was so caught up in the relationship and also very occupied in defending what I only could assume he believed, these accusations, that, I didn't internalize, I didn't make that big of a...
Amber, cut to the chase. God, I have to fart or something. Shut up. Oh. All right, continue on, Amber.
deal of it. I kind of pride myself on being tough, and, I don't make a big deal out of, smaller injuries. And I know that sounds horrible and hard maybe to understand, but my best way to cope with it is I kind of, minimize it, make sure no one, make sure he knows that I'm tough and can't knock me down, and make a joke of it, clearly. Make light.
I'm going to, Michelle, if you can take this one down and bring up 170A. Did there come a time in March, Amber, where you sent a picture to your mom?
Yes, this is sometime in March 2013. I sent it to her because I had been texting about some of the craziness, and Objection, hearsay.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain as to what she may have texted.
Same.
Right, next question.
Without saying what you said in the text, explain why you were sending it to your mom.
I was reaching out. I was very lonely in what I was living in, and I wanted help. I wanted advice, help. I just wanted to talk to somebody and figure out how I could make this stop.
And is this a picture that you took of yourself in March of 2013?
I did.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 178.
Any objection? No
objection.
All right, 178 evidence. You can publish the picture.
Thank you, Your Honor. And how did you sustain
Objection, Your
that
Honor.
bruise, Amber?
I had thrown Johnny slapped me. I walked away from him, and that made it worse. We got into like a shouting match. And he kind of did this thing with his body where I could tell he was going to hit me again. I picked up I remember it kind of like a little pot, not a pot, but like a vase. And I remember I got away from him enough as he reels back. I threw it in his direction and actually managed to get away before he got me. He grabbed me by the arm, and he kind of just held me on the floor, screaming at me. I don't know how many times he hit me in the face, but I remember being on the floor of my apartment, and I remember thinking, how could this happen to me again?
Can you bring up 170? Michelle, and if we can, and just to start, it's at 3/23/2013. If we can scroll up. This is a text message exchange with your mom, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's go and scroll down a minute.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay.
Let's wait until we get to the spot. All right, and is this the picture that you sent to your mom on 3/23/2013?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of 170, just that picture that's on the text.
With no words?
Well, it says from 2 weeks ago on it.
Your Honor, I'll sustain the objection.
If we redact the from 2 weeks ago, can we admit it then? And then just have the showing that she sent it to her mom?
Maybe
for the
approach
date?
her. All right, 170 will be evidence with redactions.
And may we publish to the jury, please?
All right.
And that's the picture you sent to your mom
Yes, it is.
on March 23rd, 2013. Yes, it was from a previous fight.
Okay.
The bruise. All right. Now, did you have any other altercations in March 2013 with Mr. Depp? Yes. We had a couple of these fights in Orange that were around this time, one of which I started to tell you about the painting. You know, and I know I've interrupted you now twice on that, but I realize the jury doesn't. Can you tell them what you mean by orange, at Orange? Sorry, Orange was my apartment that I kept in Los Angeles at the time.
And it was an apartment. What type of an apartment?
I rented the top of a duplex. So it was a house, and with the landlord living on the bottom floor, I rented the top floor.
Okay, thank you. Now, please continue with the painting. I'm sorry.
It seemed like nothing I could say to Johnny would convince him. He wanted me to remove the painting. And he wanted me to admit to this affair that I wasn't having. And I didn't want to admit to it because it's not true. So I held out, and he just drank more and did more cocaine. And I woke up the next morning, I think it was on the 22nd or the 23rd. I woke up in the morning, and the breakfast table was like cocaine and booze. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to talk I wasn't going to be able to talk our situation down. I wasn't going to be able to talk him out of it. And he was just so convinced that I was fighting with him or the reason that he wouldn't leave the house, and he had something to go film that was important, and there were important people waiting for him. And I remember people were reaching out, his assistants, his manager sister, everyone was wondering where he was. And I kept feeling embarrassed and unable to move this person out of my house. I couldn't calm him down. I couldn't change. He was just so intent on me admitting the details of this affair that I wasn't having. And me pointing out that the cocaine wasn't making his situation any better made me the bad cop. Then I'm the nag. So eventually I called my sister. He had a kind of a buddy-buddy relationship with her at the time. And at the time, she occasionally did cocaine. I didn't, but she did. So I was like, hey, come take over. Maybe you can buddy him and talk him into leaving the house. Just getting out of the house. And she did. I remember his assistants trying to get him out. Eventually in the evening, I think early evening, he finally agrees to leave, but I can't tell our relationship status. I can't tell if he still is convinced of these things or if he's just going to sleep it off and it's going to go back to normal sobriety, sorry kind of phase. And he was still upset, but seemingly calming down. So I agreed to go with him. He wanted me to go to the shoot. I had plans, so I kind of reluctantly agreed, but didn't want to set anything off. I didn't want to engage anymore. I didn't want to do anything that could be perceived as antagonizing him or engaging more. So I went with him. We grabbed the dogs. We get in the car. We're on the way there. We're headed up. Sweetser is the street. It's a major street that leads up to Johnny's houses. He effectively owns the end of the street. It's like a cul-de-sac.
Sweetser is not a major street. Fuck. Sweetser is a little fucking street in Hollywood that goes up from the fucking... It's not a big ass street.
He wears a lot of rings.
Oh, shit.
I remember we got into a shouting match. And he kind of did this thing with his body where I could tell he was going to hit me again.
I picked up like a. I remember it kind of like a little pot, not a pot, but like a vase. And I remember I got away from him enough as he reels back. I threw it in his direction, and actually managed to get away before he got me. He grabbed me by the arm, and he kind of just held me on the floor, screaming at me. I don't know how many times he hit me in the face, but I remember being on the floor of my apartment, and I remember thinking, how could this happen to me again?
Can you bring up 170? Thank you, Michelle. And if we can, and just to start, it's 3/23/2013. If we can scroll up. This is a text message exchange with your mom, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's go. Scroll down.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay.
All right, let's wait till we get to the spot. All right, and is this the picture that you sent to your mom on 3/23/2013?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of 170, just that picture that's on the text.
With no
Come on.
words.
Well, it says from 2 weeks ago on it.
Your Honor.
I'll sustain the
Your
objection.
Honor. Come on.
And it's on March 23rd, 2013.
Fuck.
All right, thank you. All right. You know, he wears a lot of rings. Again, this thing that made me feel so loved, that made me feel like my soulmate, as cheesy as that sounds, I just felt like he knew me. And I recognized something in him, either some part of my makeup, of my background, or something that I just got it. And I loved him and understood him. It just got so scary, the other part of him. And in June, I wanted to leave him. I didn't want to leave him. I wanted to leave him. I wanted him to get better. And he expressed to me so many times when he was in that period of getting clean and sober, he would tell me, "You saved my life. Baby girl, you saved my life." Everyone else was saying that to me, and I believed it. You know, if everyone else was saying it, he was saying it. I thought, just like his other friends who had... clean and sober and stayed that way. His older friends, these rock stars that he hung out with that had like gotten clean and sober and they had 20, 30 years, something, you know, I thought, and Johnny told me he would be that person, that he was going to be that person, and I believed it. I had so much, I looked at that man twice my age, you know, I was 25, looking at this man twice my age, and I saw hope and like promise. I had so much hope. You know, the whole thing. Kids and growing old together, sort of the hope. If it was just for this one thing that he could do, which would save his life, which would be to get clean and sober. And I believed it. And I wrote this letter to myself, among many letters to myself.
Objection, hearsay. All she did was refer to that she wrote it. She wasn't saying what she said.
I'll rule for that.
Thank you.
Okay. I wrote that letter because I thought it would be read to him. I could read it to him. I could say it to him in intervention, you know, in help. And he would later thank me for, as he did, as he used to thank me all the time for saving his life.
Did there come a time later in June that you finally...
People are like, it's a distraction. Yeah, so what? It's interesting. We can concentrate on the world going to a hell in a handbasket, leave the live stream just fucking depressed, or we can make fun of Amber Turd and Johnny Depp and just have fun with some people going through some private things that are very public. Which one would you rather have? I'm saying, Happy Mother's Day, by the way. I'm saying we make fun of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. They got plenty of money. They're doing things. And the world's going to hell in a handbasket. And something really big is about to happen.
Johnny's kids.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Sounds like she's acting.
I finally met them in the summer of
Performing.
2013. I had been with Johnny for over a year, maybe like a year and a half at this point, is my best guess. And I was dying to meet them, you know, dying to get to know these kids. I felt like I knew them already. I had his daughters, and Jack's, both of his kids' art on my fridge, and I had never even met them. You know, Johnny had brought them over one day and kindly given them to me, and I had them up on my fridge because I felt like I knew them, just how much he talked about them. And I finally got to meet them at the Lone Ranger premiere at Disneyland, summer 2013.
So then I'm going to jump to, and it's not much of a jump, to June 26, 2013. There was a plane ride to Russia with Johnny. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Well, tell the jury about that particular event.
Well, that was the first and last time I ever decided it would be a decent idea to do drugs with Johnny. I did MDMA with him on the plane, which was as stupid as it may sound. I just had never, I was very against, obviously the cocaine had been a problem. I was very much against him using cocaine. I was against the drinking, supportive of the sobriety, but I'm 26 maybe, ish. And I wanted, I had never heard of anyone making MDMA.
She wanted to get, like, freaky on the plane, take some MDMA, is what she was trying to say. She wanted to, get used and abused in a good way.
Like what I had done MDMA before, I thought it's a lovey drug. It's a,
Ecstasy.
It's like a kind of, I never knew anyone to get violent on it. And,
Stop it, Brenda.
I thought, well, this is a relatively contained environment. Maybe this will be different. Maybe I can be a good cop and be part of the, I don't have to be the lesbian counselor all the time, as you would say. I can maybe be the fun girlfriend.
Yeah, the fun girlfriend.
And I learned the hard way that was not happening.
So what happened?
Well, we took MDMA. I took a capsule It's like a powder in a capsule. I took a capsule and
She took a capsule of the powder, the MDMA. Here we go.
Johnny took several. I didn't count, but
Johnny took a grip of the powdered fucking doses. He wanted to really feel that MDMA, really start to roll on the plane.
you know, it's very different when you see someone take one versus.
So she's like making the point that she took one, okay? And Johnny took a grip and she doesn't know. He could have slipped in some other shit.
A handful of something, but nothing seemed to set any alarm bells off. And things were going fine until the flight attendant got involved. The flight attendant came by, was engaging with us. I don't think that they're really. It felt like it was before the effects of the drug took over. It was relatively quick, soon after
So she's blaming the flight attendant. Let's see how this one plays out.
we first took our dose, if you can say. And the flight attendant, Johnny offered her some. She, of course, said no. And then after some back and forth between them,
Johnny offered her some MDMA.
convinced her that it would be fine.
So the flight attendant is going to take some fucking ecstasy.
He acquiesced and took her some. She, of course, said no. And then soon after we first took our dose, if you can say. And the flight attendant, Johnny offered her some. She, of course, said no. And then after some back and forth between them, Johnny convinced her that it would be fine. So she acquiesced and took MDMA with us. It's forth between them, Johnny convinced her that it would be fine. So she acquiesced and took MDMA with us. And within, a few minutes go by, and the same thing happened that happened on the mushrooms at Hicksville with the woman, Kelly Sue, who I've told you about. Flight attendant got friendly with me, but just friendly, just like MDMA friendly, was kind of, I'm a woman, he's a man, so she was naturally, I think, more comfortable with me physically. She kind of leaned into me and kind of sat on the arm of the chair I was sitting in. I mean, after all, she's on drugs, and Johnny
Back that up.
into me and kind of sat on the arm of the chair I was sitting in. I mean, after all, she's on drugs, and Johnny grabs her hand and tells her not to touch me, and she kind of reacts in a way like she's defending herself and was trying to clarify, and grabbed her by the wrist and slammed it down on the table and told her he could break her wrist. And I remember thinking, I've heard this before. And that was a pattern that would repeat itself a few times. These things would happen in these kinds.
Wait, I didn't think it was going to take that turn. Wait, Johnny, you really fucked up a good thing here, buddy.
Cycles where thinking, I've heard this before. Grabbed her by the wrist.
So basically, you got two beautiful women in the plane, and they're on MDMA. And how did you fuck it up?
In a way, like she's defending herself and was trying to clarify, and grabbed her by the wrist and slammed it down on the table and told her he could break her wrist. And I remember thinking, I've heard this before. And that was a pattern that would repeat itself a few times. These things would happen in these kind of cycles where there would be a certain element that would get filtered for a while, whether it's an accusation or a gesture, and that would be the thing that he looped on. I called it loops. And he grabs her wrist and he tells her he could break her wrist. She cries instantly, denies it, is so apologetic. Eventually he lets go. She goes to the front of the plane where the flight attendant normally hangs out, and the doors close, and I don't see her much of that whole flight. We land in Russia, and I don't really remember, I don't recall any violence on the plane between Johnny and I, but I remember feeling this tension because I was wondering when it was going to aim at me. Because he had this particular thing about, at the time I understood he had a particular thing, a sensitivity about me and women, because I had a female partner. So I was feeling nervous, anxious, and I remember we had a very quiet ride, at least I didn't say anything, to the ride to the hotel. And almost as soon as we get into the hotel room, Johnny's accusing me of effectively having engaged that, caused that. I, of course, deny it, point out what I thought was obvious, that, we'd given her drugs, wasn't an affair, and I'm trying to argue and defend myself at the same time, and at one point, Johnny just shoves me, shoves me hard, and I fall back onto this glass table. I catch myself on the table. I don't know how some furniture got knocked around. There was I'm trying to stand up for myself. I'm trying to stand up, literally. I'm not, at this point, I don't even try to hit back or try to run. I'm in this hotel room trying to do my best to fight mostly the verbal accusations, but also I try to stay on my feet, At some point, Johnny whacks me in the face, and I don't even, at some point, Johnny whacks me in the face, and so I try to stay on my feet, At some point, Johnny whacks me in the face, and I don't even, at some point, Johnny whacks me in the face, and I don't remember
Johnny whacked her in the face.
Feeling pain or awareness of my nose or anything. I don't remember thinking that. I remember
John.
Crying and feeling, I went into the bathroom and I wanted him to have I just remember wanting him to realize what had happened. I wanted him to kind of snap out of it. I wanted him to care. I wanted him to realize what was going on, because a big part of this, I felt like he wasn't aware. There was this sense that he didn't know what was going on. Again, I don't know how much of the drugs or alcohol's a part of this, but I remember crying. I came out at some point because I don't hear him in that room. I remember we had been arguing in the main room, but I went out to the hallway, which is where I presume he walked out, and his bodyguard, Jerry Judge, was in the hall. And I don't recall seeing Johnny in the hallway, but I remember seeing Jerry Judge, who gestured to my nose.
Hearsay.
Objection, Your Honor.
He hasn't said anything yet.
All right, gesture's fine. I'll overrule the objection. He gestures to my nose and holds out his handkerchief, like a cloth handkerchief. And I instantly felt really embarrassed. I felt
like you bumped your nose on his fist.
Ashamed. I don't know how else to describe it. I just felt like just really embarrassing, and I went inside the room.
What, if any, injury did you have?
I had a little blood coming out of my nose. I didn't know it. I didn't feel it at the time until Jerry gave me Jerry let me know.
Jerry punched her in the face again, and he was like, "Your fucking nose is bleeding."
And I went inside the hotel room, and
Jerry was right there to punch her right again. Fucking, your nose is bleeding, woman.
As embarrassing as it is.
She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed." And then Johnny hops in and he's like, "Popped!" to the face, and he's like, "Ah, your nose is bleeding."
I remember just wanting. I remember just wanting Johnny to say sorry, and I wanted him to realize it.
She just wanted him to say sorry, but he kept repeatedly punching her in the nose and then giving her a handkerchief and saying, "Clean up your nose." Who's this, Larry? Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid, but
It's so
It's the
stupid.
emotional part. You know, I just wanted him to acknowledge that this was that he could hurt me, you know, and I wanted it to be okay. I didn't want him to think I was interested in this flight attendant. I didn't want him to think that I would capable of cheating on him. I was in love with him. I just wanted things to be okay.
Let's take you to July 9, 2013. Did there come a time that you went for a ride you went to the Bahamas and went on a ride for the yacht
Bahamas.
with Johnny and his kids?
Bahamas.
Well, it's less like we flew out to the Bahamas to his island. He was selling the yacht to J.K. Rowling, and he wanted to kind of have a goodbye trip on the yacht. So it was docked off the island, and I went with him and his kids, who I had quickly developed a bond with and loved. And we brought a friend along with us, I think, to kind of help. And yeah.
Okay. Tell the jury what happened on that trip.
Johnny was upset that he had to sell the boat. And he was off the wagon again. But he didn't want to tell his kids, so he was hiding it from them. He was putting it in coffee cups and drinking, and the behavior just kind of like, he was upset, he was emotional, and it just, that's how he dealt with it, just drink. But there's just no off button with Johnny. So he just kept drinking, and the behavior kept getting more obviously drunk. And Lily Rose, his daughter at the time, was young. She's like maybe 14. And she started to get panicky and started to ask me questions about his drinking.
Objection, hearsay.
Without saying what Lily Rose was saying, please continue on.
Sustain the objection. Thank you. So she was asking me questions about the drinking. And was very upset.
Sustain the objection. Yeah, you can't say what Lily Rose said. Oh, but yeah. you can tell gestures. Sorry. You can tell, and you can say what you and Mr. Depp said. Okay.
Sorry. So she was upset, and Johnny we were with the kids, and he kind of threw himself off the boat in a half playful way, like a dead fish kind of way. I don't know how to describe it, almost like a belly flop. But we were on a smaller boat parked next to the yacht, and he's jumping. Well, he jumped off the front of it, but kind of in a face, chest forward way. Like it looked a little scary, like not something somebody would do if they're completely okay. It was. Started off all of us kind of taking turns jumping off the edge of the yacht into the water, and then he at one point kind of throws himself over, and it looked a little scary, the way his body fell into the water. And Lily Rose started to cry and expressed to me that she
Objection,
was
hearsay.
upset.
Sustained. You can't say what she said. You can tell expressions or observations, but you can't say what Lily Rose said.
So Lily Rose is crying, and the crying becomes like a panic, like almost like a panic attack. Like rapid breathing, crying, lots of questions. And I'm holding her, kind of comforting her, and Johnny comes in, and within a few seconds, I realized that he, kind of shifted his attention on me, and then he seemed very angry. He asked Lily Rose to leave.
Dad, there's 2 pieces of bacon right there for you. Okay, well, they were made for you.
Leaves, looks at me, leaves, crying, and Johnny, I don't remember the words he used, but starts accusing me of kind of like telling on him and calling him, a drunk in front of his kids. I hadn't done that. I was actually trying to protect Johnny. It didn't feel like my place at all to share that with his daughter or anyone at the time, other than adults who might help with it, but not his kids. So I was trying to tell him, I was just trying to comfort her. I was trying to protect you. He basically was accusing me of doing this thing and of making them aware of his that he was drinking again. And he slams me up against the side wall of the bedroom of the cabin. We were in the bedroom this whole time, but up against the wall of the cabin, and slams me up by my neck and holds me there for a second and tells me that he could fucking kill me. And that was an embarrassment. I was embarrassing. It was embarrassment. This whole thing was a joke. It was all embarrassment. I made him feel sick. And I'll never forget. I'm very, very, very much in love with this whole family now. And he's saying I'm embarrassing to him. And that somehow stuck in me more than the I could fucking kill you. It just sounded like hyperbole. It sounded like something he was just saying, but the names that he was calling me, well, kind of just pushing me up against the wall by my neck, it hurt my feelings. It hurt.
I hurt my feelings.
When I communicated when I saw Lily Rose again, we get, I won't say what she told me, but the next thing we do is we call for a helicopter to come and take us off of the boat, or off of the island. So we leave the boat, go to the landing of a part of the island, or maybe it was a different, island we had to get to leave, and we take off. I'm holding Lily Rose literally holding her under my arm while she's crying, and we're lifting off, and Jack ended up not coming with us at the last minute. He stayed behind. And we were taking off, and I remember being really torn about leaving. I felt bad about leaving, even though that had happened. I still felt awful leaving. I felt awful leaving him. I also felt like I had done something wrong. Like he was mad at me. I wasn't sure, or what I had done, but I remember not being, I'm getting all these text messages from him calling me all these names, and it barely coherent, barely, and I'm holding his daughter crying.
And let me just stop you for a moment. Michelle, can you pull up Defendant's Exhibit 180?
I believe that's already in there.
It is already into evidence, Your Honor, so if we may publish it to the jury. And then we're going to ask you to take a look at 180. And this is text messages from Mr. Depp to you. Do you recall these?
Yes, I do.
And are these the text messages?
Yes, that's what he was sending me while I was taking care of his daughter.
Partner, I'm about to go into another event. Should I keep going?
I mean, that's fine if you think this is a good point to break for the day.
I think it's probably good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and conclude for today. Again, do not read anything about this case. Do not do any outside research, and don't discuss it with anybody, okay? Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning, okay? Thank you. And again, ma'am, since you're still in the stand, you cannot discuss your testimony with anybody to include your attorneys, okay? All right. Anything further before? All right, we'll see you in the morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh shit. Amber. I was just taking a snooze a little bit. Fuck. Come on, Amber. Johnny, let's hear Johnny. Johnny. Go. Yeah.
Whether they be
Here we go.
living in
Yeah.
I suppose different ways.
Yes, Johnny. Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Johnny.
Any other artistic pursuits?
I've
Johnny might put me to sleep.
drawn since I was very small, since I was very little. And always enjoyed drawing, and then began to paint. And so there started learning about painting and trying to I suppose different ways of expressing oneself, different ways to release the things that are living in your head, whether they be beautiful memories, whether they be horrific memories, whether they be I have I need to create. It's a need. It's of course I want to create as well, but I actually need to create because I need to summon whatever it is that I need to summon, to whether that's within a film or a painting or a guitar note. All of those things should come from a place of an organic place, a place of truth. Because if they don't, well, then you're just lying, aren't you? person doesn't have to say anything on film. What's important is what's behind the eyes. And if they do say something, what's important is not necessarily the words that they say. It's very easy to say, I love you. But what brings it into the realm of truth is what's underneath it, what's not being said, the subtext, if you will. So, any artistic or creative venture, any film, anything that I do, that's where I'm coming from. That's my approach.
Mr. Duff, you mentioned words, and I think the jury has already seen some words that you've written in text messages.
Yes.
Can you please tell the jury a little bit about how you write?
Certainly. When I was young, when I was about 12 years old, my elder brother, Danny, walked into my room and ripped the Peter Frampton record off my record player, threw it across the room, and said, you gotta stop listening to this stuff, and he put this record on, and it started, and I'd never heard anything like it. It was called Astral Weeks by Van Morrison. So I'm a kid, I'm 12 years old, so...
Astral Leaks by Van Morrison. Astral Leaks by Van Morrison.
According to Wikipedia, Astral Weeks is the second studio album by Northern Irish singer-songwriter Van Morrison.
If I ventured in the slipstream between the viaducts of your dream, where my world still runs crack and the ditch and the back road stop, could you find me? Or would you kiss my eyes, lay me down? Silence easy to be born again, to be born again. From the far side of the ocean, if I put the wheels in motion, then I stand with my arms behind me, and I'm pushing out the door. Could you find me? Would you kiss my eyes?
What? Shut up. Wasn't sleeping, and we're listening to Johnny Depp, and you fucking need to listen up. It's called Astro Weeks 1999.
My guitar. I have no memory of going through puberty. I was just playing the guitar. I don't remember. I have no memory of going through puberty. I was just playing the guitar. I was obsessed with my guitar.
Any other artistic pursuits?
I've always drawn since I was very small, since I was very little. And always enjoyed drawing, and then began to paint. And so started learning about painting and...
Shut the fuck up. All right, that's enough of Johnny and Amber Heard. Get your Lego set of Amber Heard taking a shit in the bed. It's going to be worth billions. Guys, billions of dollars. Okay? Wish and make all the women in your life that are mothers feel very appreciated today. They should feel very appreciated. All right? I'm thinking I should go do some of that myself. I should go show my appreciation myself and get the fuck off this stream.